gotta be in it, Mom. Get in there.
No, I think you need to close this door.
Go ahead with me.
Right there.
So, one of the things that we talk about here is how unimportant the shiny stuff is. You know, you all know what I lost, you know, as far as shiny stuff, you know, and of course so much of it is necessary, a home for your children, and I lost all of that. And so as I've started to rebuild my life, I'm careful about the shiny stuff and not having that be the main focus, because the only things that I can take with me when I leave this life are my relationships with you and my inner light and knowledge that helps me realize that with you. And so when I came back here and sat on the bench the second time, and when Dave got a hold of me, the message was, we're not going to worry about how broken you are physically. I mean, I was barely able to walk. He said, we're going to work on your inside. We're going to fix that, because I was 100 times more broken spiritually. And so I gave a presentation a while back to the LDS recovery community that was at a stake center, and it went out on Zoom. And so a lot of my friends that I hadn't seen came to it. And sitting right in front of Dave was a close friend of mine. He was a contractor, and he helped. I hired him to get to use his subcontractors on the stuff that I didn't do myself when I built our first home up in the Provo Hills where I raised my kids. And we had our horses, and it was just our home. It was our home. And my wife and I decided to finish the basement so we could rent out the house. We didn't have kids yet. We thought that was smart, you know, and it was a good move for us, but I'd run out of money. I didn't want to borrow anymore. So at the end, I'm horse trading, you know, with this contractor. Like, you got my Rolex and my furniture and probably a truck, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then he and I went on to do project after project after project together. And so we blessed each other's lives in a lot of ways. But when I fell off in my addiction, you know, he was one of the many that looked for me. And when he found out I was giving this presentation, he caught wind of it somehow, and he came, and I'm up on the podium, and he walks in and he sits in front of Dave, you know, and I have the stake presence up there. He's starting the meeting, and I walk right down off the stage, and I just embrace this man, because he's just a good soul, and I'm so grateful to have all of these people, like all of you, come back into my life. And he came up to me after the presentation, and he said, here, put this in your pocket. And before I tell you what he handed me, my grandparents and your mother and my father, and the traditions that came about in our family with Chez Louisa and the cottage and Wasatch Towers, and all of these family memories and traditions that we had, I had lost. That's what hurt more than anything. When I was on the streets and in and out of jail and fighting for my very existence, you know, to keep the needle full, to numb my shame, you know, because of the piece, the chunk that was ripped out of my heart because I couldn't be with my kids. And it was just too much to bear. And so as I thought of these traditions in our family, and that you would all come back to me if I would just find help, you know, and all I needed to do is overcome my pride and ask, you know, and then this series of miracles happened that got me here. And with all these traditions, I walked through Jeff's hallway the other morning, and I saw these beautiful things of Shep and Sam, and it just, you know, and Sarah everywhere, and these traditions, and I thought of all the things that I did in my home with our children, you know, and so anyway, flash back to this man that's sitting in front of David, this presentation. He comes up and he hands me this thing, and it doubles my net worth immediately. It's the Rolex that I gave him, that I traded, you know, and I put it on my wrist, and it just didn't feel right. And I thought, well, you know, it doubled my net worth. I need the money, you know. And then I went to sell it, and I thought, there's no way. This is too great of a story. This is another tradition that needs to be. And so this is that watch right here, JJ. If you'll, if you'll just read the back.
Yeah, read the back.
If you'll just read the back.
It's better.
James Moyle loved
There you go. Oh, you just 10 times my net worth.
Hey, you got me. Now you know what it's for, JJ.
Thank you for getting me all this.
Anyway.
Pretty awesome.
I know the story, and that's
This man right here just gave me all back. He just gave me this solution.
Let me share something with you. I love it. So when I got to Delancey Street, what is this? Scales or Scales of Justice? When I got to Delancey Street after 27 years of drug addiction and many thousands of people whose lives I completely destroyed, I could never go back and make amends. I don't even know the names of some of the people that whom I hurt. Right? Family members, destroyed marriages, kids I didn't raise. I was James on steroids for a lot longer. Prison terms, the physical violence, all the people that were hurt. I couldn't tip them any farther. And I stayed in Delancey Street for 8.5 years, right, which is a long time for a 2-year program. And at about 4 years, my soul told me I had done as much good as the bad I've done. The soul will tell you when you've righted the ship. Make sense? I could never have gone back and apologized to everybody and made it right. It was already done, the damage was done. And the only way I could fix it was to help as many people as I'd hurt. And I had to give back, and in about 4 years, I balanced the scales. I could have quit, I could have left Delancey Street. I stayed for 4.5 more years, kept helping. I've been here for 8 years. I don't know if I can tip him, and I'm not patting myself on the back, I'm just saying I don't know if I can tip him any farther. But the whole mission now in my life is that I spent the first half of it helping people die. I'm going to spend the rest of it helping them live. It's not about the shiny stuff anymore. I did the same thing as a drug dealer. I did the same thing he was doing, chasing all that shiny stuff. It means nothing when we leave. It means nothing. We can't take it with us. But like James said, when he goes, it's the relationships in this room that mean everything. So I am thankful that he listened during his couple of years, these past 3 years here, that giving is more important than receiving, that passing on those traditions is more important than any of the shiny stuff. This is what's important. Your family, getting them back and not destroying that again. And when you bring them back into your life, to make sure that you give far more than you take, because we will owe for the rest of our lives.
Thank you.
Good message. Thank you so much.
Bravo, dudes.
Jamesy. Tell me you're ready.
I'm ready.
Right, today we're in the beautiful Wasatch Mountains, Brighton specifically here up Big Cottonwood Canyon in Utah. We're coming up on a beaver habitat. You look right here, you can see right here the trails from the beavers coming back down right there. And holy shnikes, there's a Sheila right there. Look at the coloration on that thing. It's in there chewing. It's a rabid beaver. They don't chew like that unless they've got some foam at the ends of the mouth. We've got to keep our distances, mate. Those things are attackers. They'll come right for you. Keep back now. If you're not a trained professional, you got to make sure you keep a nice firm berth from these rabid beavers, because those teeth are real serious. They like to chew into human bone as much as they like chewing into wood. See how he just strips the bark off that thing, clean off like a scab. It's like nothing to them. If they don't continuously chew on wood or human bone, their teeth will grow through and stab into their larynxes. They won't be able to breathe anymore. Look at him go. Oh, geez Louise. He's got a nice mouthful. That one does. Let's get out of here before his buds come after us. Come on then. Let's get out of here.